What's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. So Harley Davidson just announced last week that they're finally going to phase out the Evolution engine Sportsters. And I think this confirms what Harley Davidson is going to do in 2023. So let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. We do a lot of Harley content on this channel, specifically Sportsters and the Softail Lowrider S, which happen to be my main two Harleys. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. With that out of the way, we have to talk about this. So Harley Davidson just announced that they're going to cancel the Evolution engine Sportsters for 2023. And I can't say that anyone was surprised. We all saw the writing on the walls with the EPA regulations. The air-cooled Sportsters were just starting to fade out, starting in Europe. We've talked a lot about that on this channel for the last couple of years, especially seeing as how they haven't made any improvements to the models for years and years. It was just a new paint job every year and then calling it a new model when there hadn't been any feature improvements. It's literally the definition of putting a lipstick on a pig. And Harley Davidson canceling the Sportster is really significant for many reasons. The most obvious one is the rich history of the Sportster. And I suppose that torch will now be carried through the Sportster S and the new Nightster. We'll see how that tradition gets carried through with the Revolution Max engine. But if we think critically about what this means, I think we can put together clues as to what's going to happen in 2023. So follow my train of thought here. The Sportsters were the most beginner-friendly motorcycle out of the Harley line of cruisers, especially the Iron 883. I remember when they had that trade-in program from their Harley dealerships, especially for the Iron 883, making it easier for you to trade up to a bigger Harley. It's also currently the most affordable Harley in their lineup, coming in at around $10K. So now people are wondering, is the new Nightster going to be the new entry-level motorcycle? The Nightster is a great bike, don't get me wrong, but it's coming in at around $14K, which is a massive jump from $10K. And I'm going to make the assumption that it's outside the reach of the younger demographic that Harley so desperately wants to reach. We know that Harley Davidson knows that in order for them to be successful in the long run, they need to be able to sell to the younger generation. This is not new information. So what's their plan? Are they just going to stick to their guns and keep going after the baby boomer generation? I think I know at least part of Harley's plan to reach the younger demographic. Enter the Bronx. Remember the Bronx? The Bronx is the street fighter naked bike that Harley was so close to releasing in 2019, 2020, before the new CEO of Harley walked in and canceled it. This is the bike that was going to be targeted to the younger demographic, and not only that, it was the bike that had the potential to steal some of the market share from the Japanese powerhouse companies like Honda and Yamaha, who've just been dominating that market for years. The MT-09, which many consider to be the heavyweight champion in the 900cc naked bike class, comes in at about $9,500, meaning that in order to be somewhat competitive, Harley has to come in within that range. And if they do, it'll definitely be much more palatable than the $14K price tag of the Nightster. And even though many might not consider this level of bike to be an entry-level motorcycle, it just might be the entry-level motorcycle that Harley needs to bridge the gap between their target customers. We also know that earlier this year, Harley Davidson renewed their intent to use patent for the Bronx name, and the US Patent Office defines that as a bona fide intention to use your mark in commerce with your goods and services in the near future. It's a mouthful. So let's recap this. 1. Harley Davidson cancels the Evolution Sportster, leaving a huge gap in terms of an entry-level affordable motorcycle in their lineup, right? 2, the Bronx patent has been renewed for intent to use. 3, and the Bronx would most likely come in around $10K to $11K based on, the pricing of the MT-09, which is the same price range as the Evolution Sportsters that Harley just canceled. So I think if you put all of that together, it makes sense what Harley's doing. They're putting their chips all in on the Revolution Max engines in an effort to go younger and more modern. Like it or not, this is the new era for Harley Davidson. To me, this all makes sense. We already know that Harley has the technology and the production ready to go for the Bronx since they've already made the prototypes. They wouldn't necessarily have to start from scratch, as the foundation is already there with the Revolution Max engine and the designs. Let me know what you all think about this. Do you think that this is possible in 2023? Or do you think there will be another bike that Harley introduces to kind of take place of that entry-level motorcycle for Harley? Or do you think Harley's just gonna scrap it all together and say, we're a luxury brand, we've said it over and over again, and $14K is the entry-level price tag? What do you all think? In the meantime, if you've been looking for an Evolution engine Sportster, now is probably the time to go grab one before they're all gone at the dealerships. That's it for me, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.